Jared, that was a very valiant team for all what they overcame. Not one play ever loses a game, probably, but I did think that goal that made it 4-4 right out of the first shift, right after you guys took the lead, was the killer. Kadri loses a puck, break in. Is that when you sort of felt, that was the killer goal?
No. Obviously, that's a big goal in the game and in the series because we just score to go up, and we got 3 minutes and 40 seconds to play our hearts out, and you're moving on. But it's just one of those plays. We're trying to do the right thing. Bobble it, turnover in the neutral zone to odd man rush, and ends up in the back of our net right away. We've had some like that in the series, so if it just comes at a real bad time, and we just kind of bounced back and took the lead, and the series kind of went like that. The whole series was a little bit like that. The game we won, the game they come back and won, game two. And it was just a lot of back and forth. So was that was at a moment in time when I said, yeah, that's going to be the killer? No, because I still have belief in our group that we could go and get one back. It didn't matter how long it took. And I think it was only a minute and a half later, and we hit the post at the other end and had a chance to go up again in regulation. So, but it certainly was a key goal in the series.
And look, injuries, they were a factor. How close were any guys to playing? And about Landeskog, was he going to be out long term? Just talk about injuries in general. How much of a hamstring it was for you guys in the series?
Yeah, I don't like to sit here and blame injuries, but they never help, right? The injuries never help, and you go through a series and you're almost expecting through the playoffs that you're going to lose a guy or two here and there. But I guess as it turns out for us, it was we lost Grubauer, we lost both goalies, Eric Johnson early. Then we get Timmins in there, and he does a real nice job for us. So top 4D, another top 4D, his replacement basically, and then Landeskog, Donskoy, and then Calvert as well. So it's a lot to overcome. I was proud of the guys that stepped up and elevated their game and filled in for them, and we dig and scratch and claw our way back in the series. I'm really proud of this team and their heart and the passion that they played with. But we didn't really have anyone that was on the verge of coming back either. Some of those injuries are longer term, and I'm sure we can get into that over the next few days and sort of explain all of them to you. But I don't know how long a guy like Landy would be out. Obviously, it was a cut above his knee. He wasn't good today, so he wasn't able to play. And some of the other guys are still days or even weeks out. So I don't know that there was a return for a bunch of guys to help make a difference in the near future.
We'll go to Mike Chambers, Denver Post.
Jared, it seemed like the power play played a huge role in this series, and Dallas was better at that. If you could just talk about your power play and PK as well, please.
Yeah, power play got us a big goal tonight. Probably not quite as good as what we would have wanted it to be. Just not dangerous enough in a lot of areas. And then we had games where we got real dangerous and did a nice job and just couldn't get some pucks to go. We had a couple of those games too, and so we started getting a little traction. We needed to get rewarded for some of the work, and on the penalty kill side of it in this series, it just wasn't good. Dallas was really good on the power play. they made it difficult in the net front, and I guess the reality of it is we didn't block enough shots, especially from their flanks and even from the top of their umbrella. And then and missing those blocks hurts, and then we just got, they got to the pucks with numbers in the net front and made it difficult to score a lot of rebound goals. And they did it again tonight, and so it hurt us, but we were playing real good hockey 5-on-5 and kept ourselves in the series and just didn't have enough there at the end. And we talked about the sort of the timely goals that they scored tonight that kept them in the game. I thought they did a real nice job, just keep coming at us. And, in the end, they earned themselves the right to advance.
Arif Dean, Mile High Sports.
Hey, Jared. Vladdy had 2 goals today, and obviously with the Landeskog injury, he was the guy that you chose to jump into the top 6. Can you just talk about his performance today and obviously since the deadline, since he was acquired?
It was great for us when we first got him at the deadline, and kind of did what he did for us tonight. He went into, got elevated up the lineup because of some of the injuries, played real well with our top guys and helped produce. Moved around the lineup from left wing to right wing, played some power play, played some penalty kill. And then I think the break hurt him a little bit. Like he just wasn't quite the same player when he came back, didn't have the same jump and sort of tenacity in his game. He's slowly coming around with that. And, we put him on that line tonight with Naz and Nichushkin because he's the logical choice. He's the guy that we needed to step up and elevate his game and help us produce, and he did that. He had a nice game. He got to the dirty areas, to the net front, played with a little more grit and determination in his game, and he got rewarded for it. And he had some real good chances there, and he capitalized. So it was a real good finish for him in the bubble, and just a little bit of a slow start.
Ryan Clark, The Athletic.
Jared, how do you view a loss in a series like this? Is it different than San Jose where, okay, it was just a matter of depth and in this offseason you get that? Or do you look at the goal or what do you look at? Because it seems like there's a lot of moving parts.
Well, obviously we're disappointed. We set out at the start of the year with a goal to go win the Stanley Cup, and we didn't achieve it. The reality of that is only one team is going to achieve that goal. It doesn't make it any easier at all. We can make whatever excuses we want, injuries, this, that, the other. But our goal was our goal, and we didn't accomplish it. So it hurts. It sucks. I look at our guys' faces after the game. I can see the disappointment. They played their hearts out all year, and I feel for them. I think I'm real proud of them too. That's a lot to overcome in a short period of time in one playoff series. You got a couple guys who are out of your lineup, and then it just keeps adding and adding. It just gets harder and harder, And so it's different for sure. I think when you step back, it's different than last year. Like last year, we lost to a real good San Jose team. We were relatively healthy. The lack of durability in our group, in this playoff series hurt us for sure. There's no question. But I'm proud of how hard our guys played, and the way they stuck with it, and just unfortunate. It's unfortunate because it's a opportunity lost, and that's not taking anything away from Dallas. I tip my hat to Dallas. They were well coached. They played hard. There was no quit in their game. The series was back and forth, starting from game one, and tonight the game itself was no different than the entire series, back and forth, and just when you think he had a handle on it, could win the game or win the series, the other teams stepped up their game and took it back over. And it was like that right to the bitter end.
Take a couple more for Coach Bednar. Lauren Jabara, Altitude Sports.
Hey, Jared. I know we talked about Sam Girard the other night and what he's been able to do for this Avalanche team all postseason and all season long. Is there anyone else that stands out to you that you really loved their play and what they were able to do for you guys after the break and into this postseason?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about Mac. I just think that he hit another level in his play in a lot of different ways. He's always good. He's borderline great all the time, but I think in this playoffs, he was outstanding. Cale Makar, proving that he can continue to defend top guys, produce at a high level. I thought he was really good, borderline outstanding. I think that, there's a lot of guys, I can go through our lineup and there's guys that stepped up at different times and maybe not always elite play from them, but that's what a team does. They step up at different times, different guys to make plays and get you wins. And we had a real good team, a real good togetherness and belief in our room. And I'm proud of all of our guys. You're not going to be at your best every single day, but you got to find a way to carve wins out as a team, and we did that for a while. And like I said, it's just disappointing at the end, but I can't fault our effort. Our effort and our commitment was really good.
Take the last question from Mark Kisla, Denver Post.
Jared, given this year, for all of us, 2020 is probably the most unusual playoff run that you've ever been involved in and maybe ever will be involved in. How big a challenge was that bubble, and what will you take away from this bubble? Is it the disappointment in the guys' faces? Can you use that as motivation, or is it something else entirely that you'll take away from this?
I don't know yet. I think this, like, whenever you don't succeed at your goals, you have to learn from it. And I think you can do that in a bunch of different ways. I think just the experience alone helps. Knowing that, deep down, I know our guys played as hard as they could possibly play and did everything they could. They cared and they believed, and we didn't succeed. So I think you look at that, they overcome adversity in a bunch of different ways. Every team did, just even coming into this scenario after a long pause and coming in and playing hard, and there's a little bit of a feeling out process, and then just kind of getting down to playing hockey and competing to win hockey games, I think is where we get to early in the bubble. And then it's a focus and a real strong mental toughness that you need to be able to advance. And I believe our team had that. And we'll learn from all the adversity and all the sort of obstacles that were in our team's way and that we kind of tried to battle through. And we'll learn from some of the things that we failed at as well, and just keep trying to find ways to get incrementally better as a team. And so next year we can get beyond this second round.